Dear finance professionals and students, welcome to podcast of FCA Deepak Rao, a practicing chartered accountant. Weekly digest for week 5 of October 2025. India's electronics exports are surging. They are set to become the country's second largest export category, potentially replacing petroleum products. This growth is driven by global shifts and strong performance, with electronics now the fastest growing sector. Experts predict this trend will continue, doubling exports in the coming years. This marks a significant shift in India's trade landscape. The continuing shutdown of the US government is beginning to disrupt corporate activity for Indian companies with American exposure, as curtailed operations at US agencies delay clearances and filings required for cross-border actions. Infosys and Hindalco are among those now facing procedural hold-ups as the Securities and Exchange Commission or SEC and the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States are operating with limited staff. New company registrations in India surged by a record 108% year-on-year in September 2025, reaching 23,113. This exceptional growth, the highest in at least 60 months, reflects strong investor confidence, better than expected Q1 GDP growth at 7.8%, consumption revival, and positive global economic outlooks like the IMF's projection. The Reserve Bank of India is likely to increase the number of non-banking financial companies classified under the upper layer, which are subject to enhanced regulatory requirements. This comes as some of these entities have grown in size and their interconnectedness with the broader financial sector has increased. The government is developing a mega scheme to support toy manufacturers with financial assistance for new employees they hire, aiming to boost job creation in the sector. Spearheaded by the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, a broad ₹13,000 crore scheme aimed at transforming India into a global toy manufacturing hub while addressing the challenges of India's high reliance on imports and cost disadvantage compared to global behemoths in China and Vietnam. Japanese beauty brand Shiseido is planning to manufacture its products in India. This move follows global peers like Estee Lauder and The Body Shop, who are also exploring local production. India's luxury beauty market is projected to reach $4 billion by 2035. Local manufacturing offers advantages like lower duties. Several celebrity-owned brands are also seeking manufacturing partners in the country. Tata Trusts face a crucial decision on Meli Mistri's reappointment, splitting trustees into opposing factions. Noel Tata, Venu Srinivasan, and Vijay Singh are against his renewal, while Darius Kambata, Pramit Javeri, and Jahangir H.C. Jahangir support him. The outcome will significantly impact the governance of Tata Sons. The Adani Group will invest Rs 42,500 crore to expand Dighi Port in Maharashtra. This is part of a larger Rs 56,000 crore investment across 15 agreements signed by the state government. These deals aim to boost port development, shipbuilding, and maritime infrastructure. The initiative seeks to make Maharashtra a maritime superpower. Global giants are now setting up nano and micro global capability centers or GCCs in India, sparked by a surge in innovation and R&D efforts. Nano GCCs are compact, specialized centers employing 25 to 250 people, designed for speed, agility, and niche focus, unlike traditional GCCs, which have more than 250 employees that handle diverse, large-scale functions. These nimble, focused units, often backed by private equity, are witnessing an impressive growth rate of 15 to 20% each year. They represent a smart entry strategy, allowing companies to invest minimally upfront while enjoying maximum adaptability. Paytm, operated by 197 Communications Limited, has enabled non-resident Indians or NRIs from 12 countries to use international mobile numbers for unified payments interface transactions, expanding India's digital payment network to a global audience. The feature allows NRIs to link their international numbers with NRE or NRO accounts and use the Paytm app to send money or make purchases across India without requiring a local SIM card. The Securities and Exchange Board of India, or SEBI, with the objective of promoting ease of doing business, has allowed the transfer of portfolio management services or PMS business from one portfolio manager to another, subject to regulatory approval. The circular is effective immediately, and all PMS entities are required to comply with the prescribed norms before undertaking any transfer activity. The Reserve Bank of India has issued revised directions for regulated entities or REs investing in alternative investment funds or AIFs. These directions supersede earlier circulars and provide updated regulatory guidance on investment limits. Each regulated entity may invest up to 10% of an AIF's corpus. The aggregate investment by all REs in a single AIF cannot exceed 20% of its corpus. The revised directions are effective from 1st January 2026, and all REs are required to comply with the updated investment caps from this date onward. Engineering giant Larsen & Toubro is exploring an entry into electronics manufacturing services or EMS and has held preliminary discussions with the Tamil Nadu government for about 200 acres of land near Chennai. The $17 billion group, which already has allied entities in the electronic space, aims to become an integrated player with end-to-end manufacturing capabilities, taking a leaf out of the Tata playbook. Mercedes-Benz India and Zoho have launched a new system called Skyline. This system will digitize the entire service process for luxury car owners. Each dealership will operate independently but follow central standards. This partnership aims to improve customer experience across all Mercedes-Benz dealerships in India. The system integrates old and new technology for seamless operations. The Securities and Exchange Board of India, or SEBI, has released a consultation paper inviting public comments on proposed changes to the corporate governance framework applicable to high-value debt-listed entities under the SEBI Listing Obligations and Disclosure Requirements Regulations 2015. One of the key proposals is to raise the threshold for identifying high-value debt-listed entities from the existing Rs 1,000 crore to Rs 5,000 crore. This relaxation is intended to reduce the compliance burden on smaller debt-listed entities while ensuring robust governance remains for larger ones. Venture capital firm Bloom Ventures on Wednesday raised $175 million in the initial close of its fifth fund. It is targeting to raise between $250 million and $275 million in the final close of the fund by early 2026. The VC firm has already started deploying capital in health tech firms such as Confido, consumer companies like Lucira, fintech startups like PowerUp Money, as well as deep tech firms such as IDEO. Tech giant Amazon has announced a new round of corporate job reductions that will affect 14,000 employees worldwide as the company moves to streamline operations and accelerate investment in artificial intelligence. The job cuts are concentrated in office-based functions rather than frontline warehouse roles and cover areas such as human resources, devices and services, advertising, and parts of cloud infrastructure. The Reserve Bank of India accelerated the process of bringing home gold with it onshoring nearly 64 tons in the half year to September amid rising global skepticism over keeping sovereign assets offshore in an era of financial warfare to settle geopolitical scores. India's central bank has bought home 274 tons of gold since March 2023. The move to accelerated repatriation of gold started post the Russia-Ukraine war and the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan. In both instances, G7 seized foreign currency reserves of Russia and Afghanistan. The Central Board of Direct Taxes or CBDT on October 29th extended the deadline for filing income tax returns and audit reports for the assessment year 2025-26, providing relief to taxpayers and professionals. The revised deadlines for submitting audit reports and income tax returns are November 10th and December 10th respectively. President Trump announced a significant easing of trade tensions with China following a meeting with President Xi Jinping. Tariffs on Chinese goods will be reduced and China will reportedly make large-scale purchases of American soybeans. Discussions also covered rare earths, fentanyl, and cooperation on Ukraine with further outcomes expected soon. Reliance Brands Limited is bringing the Italian fashion brand Max & Co. to India. This marks a long-term franchise agreement. The first store will open in Mumbai in early 2026. Subsequent stores will launch in other major cities. Max & Co. offers contemporary pieces with a mix-and-match approach. This partnership aims to cater to the evolving style of Indian women. Hero MotoCorp has entered France, its 52nd international market. The company partnered with GD France to launch its Euro 5 Plus range, featuring the Hunk 440 model. This move strengthens Hero MotoCorp's European presence. GD France will offer the product range through over 30 sales and service outlets initially. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs or MCA has provided a one-time relaxation for companies in relation to filing of Form CRA4, the cost audit report in XBRL format for the financial year ending 31st March 2025. This relief has been announced in light of the deployment of the revised CRA4 form on the MCA V3 portal, which may have affected timely filings. Companies filing Form CRA4 on or before 31st December 2025 will not be required to pay any additional fees. This waiver aims to provide sufficient time for companies and professionals to adapt to the new filing utility on MCA V3. India is considering a bailout exceeding 1 trillion rupees or $12 billion for debt-laden state-run power distribution companies. To receive the bailout funds, the states will be required to privatize their electric utilities and transfer managerial control or keep control but list them on stock exchange. The plan marks Prime Minister Narendra Modi's toughest reform push yet to overhaul the chronically inefficient state-run electricity distribution companies seen as the weakest link in India's energy chain. Air India is reportedly seeking at least 100 billion rupees or $1.14 billion in financial support from its owners, Singapore Airlines and Tata Sons. This request follows a deadly crash in June and aims to overhaul the carrier's systems, services, and in-house engineering capabilities. The funding decision, whether a loan or equity, will be proportional to ownership stakes. Reliance and Google are joining forces to provide free access to advanced AI tools for millions of Jio customers. Eligible Jio users will soon receive an 18-month subscription to Google's AI Pro plan. This initiative aims to make powerful AI accessible to every Indian household and enterprise, empowering innovation and growth across the nation. Indian online education platform Physicswala Limited is nearing a significant initial public offering, potentially raising Rs 3,820 crore. The deal, backed by Westbridge Capital and Hornbill Capital, is expected to launch in the coming weeks. The offering includes both new share issuance and a secondary sale by founders. Financial services company Equirus on Thursday partnered with industry veteran Srinath Srinivasan to set up a Rs 1,500 crore private equity fund. Srinivasan, who was formerly the chief executive officer of Oman India Joint Venture Fund, where he managed two AIF registered funds aggregating approximately $330 million, will join the board of Equirus Wealth. The new fund will look to focus on mid-market growth investments, targeting digitally led AI-savvy, high-growth consumer financial services, industrial and healthcare sectors. General Atlantic has invested $600 million in digital payments major PhonePe, taking its shareholding up from 4.4% to roughly 9%. The transaction was a secondary share sale, not a fresh capital raise, and was designed to enable employees to exercise stock options and meet tax obligations. Including this latest round, the US-based private equity firm has deployed around $1.15 billion into PhonePe since 2023. The internationalization of the Indian rupee has already commenced, with exporters invoicing in the local currency, and it is likely to see a surge in the coming years as it becomes a primary vehicle to achieve developed economy status. The Reserve Bank of India believes this will reduce risks for Indian businesses and contribute to a more stable global financial system. India is looking at ways to bolster foreign direct investment and foreign institutional investment, Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal said Friday. He also said India's financial year 26 export growth is expected to be faster than last year and supported the idea of deploying capital with insurance companies and pension funds in startups. Shadowfax Technologies has submitted its updated IPO papers to SEBI. The company plans to raise Rs 1,000 crore through a fresh issue and an equal amount via an offer for sale. Funds will boost network infrastructure, lease payments, and branding. Shadowfax saw significant revenue growth and operational profitability in financial year 24. It joins other new age companies preparing for public listings. Fintech major Pine Labs will open its much anticipated initial public offering on November 7th. The IPO will include a fresh equity issue worth Rs 2,080 crore and an offer for sale of 82.35 million shares by existing investors. The Bengaluru-based company has allocated 10% of the issue to retail investors, with the remainder divided among institutional and non-institutional categories. Elon Musk's Starlink is moving closer to starting its satellite internet operations in India. The company has started the hiring process and operational planning following regulatory clearances earlier this year. The SpaceX-backed company has begun recruiting for key finance and compliance positions in Bengaluru, including accounting manager, payments manager, senior treasury analyst, and tax manager roles. All roles are on-site, reflecting the company's plan to maintain close control over financial reporting and statutory compliance in India. The Ford Motor Company on Friday confirmed that it will commence powertrain manufacturing operations at its Marai Malai Nagar plant near Chennai, with an initial investment of Rs 3,250 crore, marking a significant step in its renewed engagement with India. The plant will focus on producing next-generation engines and will have a planned annual capacity of 235,000 units. Production is expected to begin in 2029. The project is expected to create over 600 direct jobs in Tamil Nadu, in addition to a larger number of indirect employment opportunities across the supplier ecosystem. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India has proposed to allow CAs to take statutory audit work for 40 firms, companies, limited liability partnerships, partnership firms, etc., up from 30 now. Besides giving them a host of other relaxations, including letting them hold non-educational seminars in India and abroad, and advertise to attract clients. The draft code of ethics released by the Institute recently also allows auditors to take on more non-audit work, especially in the MSME space. The ICAI, however, said that CAs will still have to comply with the statutory ceiling of audit limit prescribed under the Companies Act 2013. As per Section 141 subsection 3G of the Companies Act, an individual auditor or a partner in a firm is not allowed to do audit work for more than 20 companies at the same time, excluding one-person companies, dormant companies and small companies with paid-up share capital below Rs 100 crore.
This podcast is sponsored by Sound of CA. We share because we care. Vande Mataram, Jai Hind.